Hey guys, so some of you know that I just got back from St. Thomas not too long ago, and I was lucky enough to stay in an all-inclusive resort, and it was very exciting and fun, and I learned a lot of things. It wasn't the first time that I've stayed in an all-inclusive, but it was the most recent, so I remember it the most. But when I was there, I was kind of going through my mind like what I didn't like and what I did like about it. So I thought that maybe for some of you that have been in a lot of resorts or none at all, you would like to know what the pros and cons are of all-inclusive resorts. So that's what this video is going to be about. We are going to talk about some pros and cons of all-inclusive resorts. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so the first one is the food. Like I said, all-inclusive means all-inclusive, which means that you get mostly all the food included into the package, I guess. But, kind of. Notice how I said mostly all the food? Most alcohol you do have to pay extra for. Some places you don't, but most places you do have to pay the alcohol. And the food, the pro of it is that it is all included. It's nice, you don't have to worry about eating out if you don't want to, but the con of that is that the food is not good. I went to one in Jamaica, and I mean, like, it was okay, like it was edible and stuff, but it wasn't like the food that you would expect in an all-inclusive, a nice resort. It just isn't good, but that's kind of what you get with an all-inclusive. You get the food all included, so the food is gonna go down a little bit, which is fine. It's all included. No one can say no to free food, right? You expect to go on vacation and get really nice dinner, but it's not so nice. And it is mostly all American food, especially if you go to places in the Caribbean, because they know what you like, I guess. To really get to know the country, you want to try that country's food. So if you go to Mexico, you want to try Mexican cuisine, authentic Mexican cuisine. So most of the hotels don't really have that. You have to ask separately, like, can I have this actual cuisine? And some of them will do that for you, but just know that when you go to these places, yes, the food is all-inclusive. It's not that great, and you're not always gonna get that authentic cuisine that you're really hoping for in another country. So taxis is my biggest concern because they get you really bad, especially in St. Thomas. Basically, we were on one side of the island and all the other stuff was on the other side of the island, which is fine because we wanted to not stay in the most touristic places. But it was kind of bad also because we couldn't pay like $2 for one ride. We had to pay $10 for one ride, and it was $10 each person, and there were 3 of us, so every taxi was at least $30. They just get you everywhere. That is definitely the biggest con. The pro is that you do get to get taxis everywhere. If you need a taxi, all you have to do is go up to the front desk and say, hey, can I get a taxi here? And it'll be there in probably less than a minute. So that is definitely a big pro. If you're not good with tracking taxis down, go to resorts and you always will find some. So another big one of mine is experiencing the place that you're going to. When you go to a place, you have to go and experience that place. And a lot of people think that the resorts are kind of like isolation from the rest of the country, which it can be. It's true, it can be, because you're getting all your food there. You don't have to really step outside of the resort. You have everything right there in front of you, including the beach, drinks, food, whatever. It's all right there, so you really don't have to step outside. So that is like the downfall of that, because you are kind of isolated. But the pro is that you yourself can physically go out and do stuff. You don't have to stay in the resort, but it's your choice. You have to be the one that wants to do that. You can't rely solely on the resort to give you that experience like you're going to be in St. Lucia or Dominica or Spain. You have to go out and experience that, so make sure when you go to a resort that you do experience it. And that's the pro, that you can experience it. The con is that you have to look harder for it, and it is somehow like some type of isolation when you do go to a resort. This next one is debatable as well. You never know what you're really gonna get. The pro of this is that you can go and get a beautiful resort on the beach or somewhere else, and everything's clean, all the people are nice, la 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 la, everything you really want in a resort, and you're golden. A con is that you can go and you can look up your resort on maybe like TripAdvisor, and you find out that maybe it might be dirty, it might be clean, it might be anything, but make sure you go and look at TripAdvisor and other websites like that, because it is other people like you and I trying to find good resorts and good hotels, and it'll tell you what their true opinion of the place is. So the last pro and con, this is mostly a con, so I'm sorry, but the last pro and con is that they nickel and dime you to death. There's no pro about this. They nickel and dime you. Sometimes they don't, so I guess that means that's the pro. But just make sure that you bring all your necessities like sunblock so you don't have to buy it there, and get your alcohol else places, or make sure that you know whether you have to pay for alcohol before you go, so that'll save you money before you get there. So that is some pros and cons of all-inclusive resorts. I hope that I helped you. So don't be afraid to comment below and ask me a question or message me. I will not hesitate to help you. Don't be afraid. I don't bite much. And if you do go to an all-inclusive, let me know which one you go to. Maybe we've gone to the same one, and maybe we can bond over that. So yes. Okay, I'm done here. So have fun with your all-inclusives, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, thumbs up this video if you enjoyed, and I will talk to you next video. Bye!